Today we're going to talk about how do authors organize a text using compare and contrast. Do you remember this closet I showed you last week? This is a messy closet. When authors write a text and it is unorganized, it is very difficult to understand. But if authors organize their writing in a way that is easy to understand, you will be more likely to get information. Today, we're going to look at a piece of writing where the author uses compare and contrast to organize their writing. Let's take a look at what it actually means to compare and contrast two things. Let's compare and contrast shampoo and conditioner. Compare means to find what's the same, and contrast means to find what is different about them. Pause this video to think to yourself what is the same about shampoo and conditioner and what is different. Pause. This is our table of contents. You can see that these are the different headings that we can discuss for cats versus dogs. Here is the topic for the first one. The heading is cats versus dogs. Senses, diet, communication, 10 cool things about dogs and cats, behavior, final showdown, the glossary, and the index. Stop and think to yourself, what is the genre of this book? The genre of this book is nonfiction. I know this because it is giving us information. The table of contents, the glossary, and the index are a big key in some of the text features that will be used to help us understand cats versus dogs and what the author really wants us to know about it. We are not going to read the entire book. However, it is in the classroom library in the back of the classroom. This is the introduction. In the introduction, the author sets up the readers for what he or she is writing about. This will give us an overview about some of the information we will learn. Cats versus dogs. Dogs and cats are the most popular pets in the world. Some people think dogs are our finest friends. Others believe cats are the perfect pets. Find out which animal has the smoothest moves, the best hearing, and can do the smartest tricks. No matter who your favorite is, one thing is certain. Fur will fly in this battle of pets. I can tell the author is setting us up to learn about cats and dogs. She is giving us some information about what other people believe and how they are similar or different in their thinking. She is also letting us know that she will talk about the moves that they do, hearing, and tricks. Our first topic is the senses. The heading says, whose nose knows best? The play on words, the nose, like the nose of an animal, and knows, like what information you know. Dogs and cats have super sensing powers that have been passed down from their ancestors. Powerful senses have helped them survive. Sniff, sniff. A dog smells the air. It gets a lot more information from a whiff than we do. Dogs have about 220 million scent smell cells. That's twice as many as cats, and 40 times more than humans. Some weird but true facts. Some dog breeds can sniff out mold, insects, drugs, and even cancer. Now that's a knowing nose. The winner of this topic is dogs. Cells, here's a word to know. Cells, the basic building block of a living thing. Large plants and animals are made up of trillions of cells. On this page, I can tell the author is comparing and contrasting dogs and cats and their sense of smell. They both have senses that have been passed down from their ancestors or animals that have lived before them. However, it says that dogs have 220 million scent cells. When I see it's 40 times more than humans and twice as many as cats, I know it's comparing. Because when I see as many as and more than, that tells me that they're differences. So it's contrasting dogs and cats and even dogs to humans. So on your compare and contrast organizer, we are going to compare and contrast our first concept for cats and dogs. At the top of your organizer, go ahead and write cats and dogs. Our very first concept to compare is smell. When discussing smell, dogs are able to smell with 220 million scent smells. This is different from cats because cats have fewer scent smells. In fact, they told us that dogs have twice as many as cats, which means cats actually have about 110 million scent smells. However, both have stronger sense of smell than humans. The next subheading is Who's Got an Ear for Everything? This is still underneath the heading of senses, but gives us an idea that it will now be about hearing. A mouse scurries inside a hole in the wall. A human may not have heard a sound, but a passing cat probably did. This gives us a great visual of how well a cat can hear compared to a human. Humans can hear sound up to 20,000 hertz, a measurement of how high or low pitched a sound is. Dogs can hear twice that, but cats' hearing is king. This keyword "but" tells me that they're able to contrast cats compared to dogs and humans. Hearing is king shows me that their hearing is better. They can pick up an ear-splitting 60,000 hertz. This means cats hear many sounds that humans and even dogs would never notice. Hertz, a unit of measurement for sound. The visual at the bottom helps to illustrate how many hertz each of us can hear. 20,000 for humans, 40,000 for dogs, and 60,000 for cats. Let's use this to help us organize our information. Now we're going to look at the topic of hearing. Underneath the cat's side, we can write that it's different and being contrasted because they can hear 60,000 hertz. Dogs, compared to cats, can hear 40,000 hertz. Sometimes there will be similarities between your topic and sometimes there will not. Both have better hearing than humans. Take a minute to pause the video to be able to write this information on your own organizer. The new heading is Behavior. The subheading is Who's the bigger sleepyhead? We're going to take a look at comparing who sleeps longer during the day. Dogs sleep 12 hours a day on average. Older dogs or puppies might sleep more. Working breeds like boxers and collies don't need as much shut-eye. Cats sleep about 18 hours a day. So think to yourself, how are they comparing the differences between how much a cat sleeps compared to how much a dog sleeps? Here it says dogs sleep 12 hours a day, while cats sleep 18 hours a day. But unlike humans, cats sleep lightly, waking up every several minutes. That's where the term cat nap comes from. Here's a key word that tells us it's contrasting cats to humans. Unlike means not similar to. So we sleep in a deep sleep while cats sleep lightly. I never knew that's why cat nap is called for people who sleep during the day and just take a small nap here or there. Let's take a look at our organizer to help us understand this information more clearly. Now we're going to look at the topic of behavior. We're actually going to look at specifically sleep. Cats, it said, sleep 18 hours a day. That's an awful lot of sleep. While dogs sleep an average of about 12 hours a day. Some breeds may be more, some breeds may be less. Both cats and dogs sleep during the day. take a minute to pause this video and write down your information on your organizer. The next topic or heading is diet. Who serves up supper? Meaning, who is able to get their own dinner? House cats are deadly hunters. Sometimes cat owners will open their front door and find a surprise, a dead animal. Cats often bring home gifts to their owners, like birds, lizards, or mice that they've killed. You might have preferred a pizza, but your cat is just following its instincts. An instinct is a behavior that animals are born knowing how to do. Dogs might bring home the newspaper, but cats bring home dinner fit for a feline, which is a synonym for a cat. Let's take a look at what else these animals eat. Who's a pickier eater? Dogs and cats usually eat pet food that's specially made for them. In the wild, cats are carnivores. They eat only meat. Cats need 5 times more protein than do dogs. This is interesting right here because when it says more than, I know it's contrasting cats and dogs since the information is different for them. Dogs are carnivores too, so that's similar, but pooches aren't as picky. In the wild, dogs and wolves sometimes snack on plant matter like grass and fruit. So a carnivore is an animal that eats other animals, and a protein is a nutrient in meat that is an important part of all living things. Here's a little question for you. It's a little joke. What do cats eat for breakfast? Mice Krispies instead of Rice Krispies. Let's take a look at the new heading of diet. What do they eat? Cats and dogs are both carnivores. That little word too told me that this is similar about them. However, dogs and wolves, which is their ancestors, sometimes eat plant matter or plants like grass and fruits. Cats, however, eat only meat. They need the protein. So let's write need protein. This is important to note. So far we know that both cats and dogs are carnivores, so they eat meat. But dogs are a little bit less picky. They can eat plants and fruits. Cats only eat the meat because they need the protein. Now that we've looked at many areas in where cats and dogs are similar and different, I'd like you to write down 3 ways that they are different, 2 ways that cats and dogs are the same, and 1 question that you have about cats and dogs. I bet that if you have that 1 question, you might find it in the rest of this book. Once again, it's located in the classroom library. Turn this into your teacher when you have finished.